My name is Bill Bradley. I'm an extreme endurance athlete. The topic of today's video is life is a fight. I'm up at Rice Lake, Wisconsin. I don't know how cold it is, but it feels cold this morning. Anyway, it's like 2 days after I got my, I don't know how to say it, I got my butt kicked at Tuscobia. I got sick at like 44 miles. I got so freaking sick, throwing up. I just kept throwing up over and over again. I had a stomach bug that got me during the race. I knew I woke up in the morning and my whole bed was soaked. And I did a quick check. So, okay, I didn't pee the bed. That's a good sign. But I had broke some sort of sweat. And I was talking to my buddy later, and he says, I go, didn't that mean I was getting over something? He goes, no, that means it was starting. So when I got out, I made it out to like 45 miles. And I knew even in the beginning that I wasn't feeling right. And because I was just going slower than I thought I would. Probably a couple minutes a mile slower than I thought I would. And I was going to be right up against the 65-hour cutoff if I kept going at that pace. And but I didn't know why. I thought it'd be a couple minutes a mile faster, like I said. And I've trained my ass off for these things. Physically, I could not do any more than what I did. I mean, I was doing the last month before I came out here to Minnesota first and to Wisconsin. I had been training over 25 hours a week. And then I was doing like, just everything you could think of physically. And then doing, as far as the weight training, yoga, pacing exercises and just everything. And there was no more I could give physically. Some nights I would finish at 11 o'clock at night training. There was zero more I could have gave physically. Maybe mentally, I was thinking later I could have done some more visualization of finishing these races, which I'll work on now that I have Arrowhead coming up in a month. But life is a freaking fight, man. It's a fight. Even though I felt like I did all the training I could do. I was getting way faster on the dirt, you know what I mean, which is where I live in California. But up here in the dirt, up in the snow, it's a whole different animal. And but it doesn't matter, I think the two things why I got sick was, number one, there was a bug going around up there. My buddy had got it the week before, so it was definitely going around. But I was susceptible, you know what I mean? I was susceptible. I had, I was putting a lot of pressure on myself, a lot of pressure that I had to finish. I have to finish. I put so much pressure. Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather, they talked about before their big fight, who shines the best under the big lights? Who can relax under all that pressure? Well, I think that was one of the reasons I was putting too much pressure on myself. I didn't totally feel it, Not like when I was in high school when I do a race, man. I literally feel sick to my stomach. But I think that I was putting enough pressure on myself that I started to feel, the stress was bringing down my ability to fight off bugs. It was bringing that down. And then I was a little bit, just a day before the race, it was a little chaos. So I probably could have got here to Wisconsin a day earlier because I was running around with all that last minute, working on my food for my sled and things that you gotta, Anyway, I'm gonna move that up a couple days. But I think the main thing is that, I had trained my ass off for this thing, and I thought I was gonna make it for sure. I thought for sure I'm gonna make it. I thought I'd be up there, mid-pack or at least with a decent amount of people, maybe a 2/3 back, but I was way in the back. Like where I'd been past years where I was 30 pounds heavier in weight. I had a 5-pound heavier sled, and I trained half as much as I trained this year, which was still a lot of training, but not nearly as much as I did this year. And I was still back there. And I got my ass kicked. So what does that tell you? It tells you life is a fight, man. It's a fight. It's a fight. It just is. There's never a sure thing. There's always something else that can come up and bite you in the ass. It's just a fight. And the secret is, man, you get knocked on your ass. Literally, I was so sick out there. I kept throwing up over and over again. 3 waves of throwing up everything I had. I was so sick that before the about 44 miles, and I couldn't even make it to the 45-mile checkpoint. I mean, I could have, but I didn't want to, man. It was so horrible. I was going so slow, and I was so cold out there because I had depleted everything out of me. And I had to flag a car down, man, to drive me a mile because I was fortunate I was near a road. And anyway, I just, it's a fight, man. Yeah, I got my ass kicked. You know, this freaking cold, awesome place kicked my ass again. That's like the 8th time I've had my ass kicked out here. 7th time in these 2 races between Arrowhead and here. But I'm getting back off the canvas and I'm going for it again at Arrowhead. So I'm like really getting fired up, man. I learned, I'm tweaking. A lot of things went good. So, you know, and then a few things just, I think a little too much pressure, a little bit too much running around at the very end. You know, getting myself a little overtired at the very end, you know, just running around. Maybe made me susceptible to that bug. And maybe it's just my lesson is that I'm supposed to show everybody is just, if you get your ass up, if your ass gets kicked, get off that canvas, man, and go at it again, man. You may have lost the round, but you haven't lost the fight yet until you totally quit. Till you swear off these races forever, and then you've lost. Anyway, I'm like dusting my ass off and getting all the snow off my butt, and I'm preparing for Arrowhead. So life is a fight, man, and it's not over with until you totally quit. Arrowhead, here I come. All right, if you're interested in contacting me, you can email me at epicbillbradley@gmail.com. Thank you very much.